Welcome back to Pokemon episode summaries. Today, I'll be doing episode 53, The Perfect Hero. The episode begins with Ash and the gang walking along a path to Cinnabar Island, which they were looking at on their map for directions, and Togepi unfortunately starts crying, leading Misty to comfort it like a mother. Speaking of mothers, Ash and the gang then spot some banners resembling Magikarp, Goldeen, and Gyarados, which remind them of a holiday called Children's Day, likely due to the banners always being held up during Children's Day celebrations. They then see a town in the distance, indicating that Children's Day was being celebrated there. Misty then comments how she wishes that they could still celebrate Children's Day, complaining that they now couldn't, being Pokemon trainers, which essentially makes you an adult in this universe. Ash then rebuttals that he would rather be a trainer than be a kid, reminding Misty that he wanted to get the Volcano badge from the Cinnabar gym still, and Brock adds that Misty still had fun despite being a trainer, referencing the contest from last episode. Bringing up the contest makes Ash and Brock recall the horrible memories of what they had to endure, and counter that this means that Kids Day should be a dude-only holiday, like how the Princess Festival was for girls only, even though this makes no sense. It's called Kids Day. Kids aren't just little boys. Like, what are you talking about, guys? Misty rightfully punishes Brock and Ash for this, slapping them with her fan, when suddenly a woman comes up in excitement, thinking that Ash and the gang were trainers that she was waiting for. After hearing them mention Children's Day, Brock is immediately attracted to this woman. Obviously, I mean, he's Brock, and he accepts her request when she tells them to come to her local school and play with the kids there, like they had apparently promised her, being the simp that he is. Ash clarifies that they promised her jack shit, leading the woman to realize that these weren't the trainers that she was looking for after all. Which is then further confirmed when the woman gets a phone call from somebody who states that the trainers that she had requested to come over were not fulfilling their end of the bargain, and had dropped out. Rico then explains to the confused Ash and the gang that she had mistaken them for trainers that were supposed to come and let the kids play with their Pokemon to celebrate Children's Day. But now she was panicking, as since the trainers had dropped out, the kids weren't going to be able to get to play with anyone's Pokemon, and that would make them depressed on Children's Day, and we can't fucking have that. We need to celebrate Children's Day. So, Ash and the gang, mainly Brock, once again being the simp that he is and wanting to make her happy, then clarify that even though they weren't the trainers that the woman was looking for, they still are trainers, so they have Pokemon that the kids can play with. The woman is extremely happy with this, and permits them to come to the school and let the kids play with their Pokemon. Meanwhile, surprise surprise, Team Rocket is spying on Ash and the gang, and realize that it's Children's Day after hearing them talk about it. This causes James to happily remember all the fun times he had because of Children's Day, being allowed to skip school, have extra pool hours, and eat ice cream sandwiches. This causes Jessie to get angry, as she remembers her Children's Day memories, which she fucking had none of, as her parents were too poor to buy her shit, and complained that she didn't have a pool or any ice cream sandwiches, having to eat bologna sandwiches instead. This causes James to cry in sympathy for her, but Meowth, on the other hand, being the dick that he is, only makes fun of her for it, which pisses Jessie off as she slaps the shit out of him. Meanwhile, Rico takes Ash and the gang to her local school, and informs the kids of their presence, causing them all to run over excitedly, excited to let the Children's Day festivities begin, knowing that they could play with all their Pokemon. The first Pokemon they decide to play with is Pikachu, as they pull his face around, touch his cheeks, all sorts of shit, which obviously annoys Pikachu. Ash, knowing what would happen when Pikachu gets annoyed, then tries to take Pikachu away from the kids so that he wouldn't shock them. But just as he does, Pikachu unleashes this shock anyways, shocking Ash. But hey, at least the kids weren't shocked and Ash had to go to jail for murder. Unlike with the Princess Festival, where it seems like the women could get away with anything they wanted, the kids at least still have some rules here, as the teacher then yells at the kids, telling them not to piss Pikachu off by playing with it too roughly. Ash and the gang are surprised by Rico's sudden mood swing, not expecting anger like that to come out of her. I mean, she just basically encouraged random-ass trainers to come here just to make the kids happy, and now she was screaming at them, though. But the kids weren't at all fazed by the teacher's screaming, as they had clearly heard it plenty of times before. Rico then returns to her normal self, and excitedly asks the kids if they wanted to play with the rest of Ash and the gang's Pokemon, which they all happily accept. This leads Ash and the gang to send out all their Pokemon, with Ash sending out his Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Pidgeotto, among others, with Misty sending out her Staryu, Starmie, Goldeen, Horsey, Psyduck, and Brock sending out his Geodude, Vulpix, and Onix. All the Pokemon proceed to play with the kids, such as the water Pokemon playing in the school's little water fountain, and Psyduck just fucking being Psyduck. That should be enjoyable enough for kids. Misty then comments on how even the Pokemon seem to be having as much fun as the kids, indicating once again that the life of an animal is probably better than the life of a human, minus an abused Pokemon, of course. Brock then agrees, writing down the knowledge that he had acquired in his Pokemon journal, that playing with kids seemed to make Pokemon more relaxed. But I mean, technically Pokemon playing with kids also counts as battling with them, right? And I doubt that makes them more relaxed. Misty then realizes that one of the kids, named Timmy, wasn't enjoying Children's Day like he should be, and was sitting in the corner by himself, looking sad. Ash and the gang question him why he wasn't playing with any of their Pokemon, with the boy explaining that he wanted to, he wanted to play with Pokemon, but he was sad that his favorite one wasn't there, being a Meowth. That's acting a little spoiled, dude. I mean, you're getting to play with Pokemon for free. Why are you complaining? Ash and the gang then questioned Timmy on why Meowth was his favorite Pokemon, likely due to having a bias against Meowth due to all their encounters with Team Rocket, where Timmy confirms that one day he was playing in the woods when he was ambushed by a goddamn Beedrill about to be killed, but then at the last second, a Meowth swooped in and used Fury Swipes on the Beedrill, absolutely decimating it, which really impressed Timmy to the point where he's become obsessed with the Meowth and just wants to see him again after he ran away right after he saved him. Misty and Brock then informed Timmy that it was unusual for a Meowth to attack a Beedrill like that and defend a child, which is probably once again just their bias against Meowth speaking. But I mean, I guess Brock knows his shit about Pokemon, right? I guess if he says that Meowth doesn't attack Beedrill often, I guess it must be right. Maybe because usually their claws can't reach it up in the sky, maybe, I don't know. Misty, just not wanting to believe that this Meowth could possibly be good, then asks if it said anything in human language, which implies that she thought that maybe this Meowth was the same one from Team Rocket after all. So you don't even think that it could be a different Meowth? Like, come on, man. Timmy is obviously confused when Misty asked this, obviously clarifying that Meowth didn't say anything in human language, and he responds to their original statement about most Meowth not being willing or able to save a child by stating that that's what made him so interested in the Meowth that saved him anyways, knowing that the Meowth put himself at risk like a superhero when all the other Meowth likely wouldn't have. Just then, some kids walk up to Timmy, who share the same doubts that Brock and Misty did, saying that they didn't believe that a Meowth had actually came and saved Timmy, and that he was basically just a lying asshole, and proceed to bully him for it. Just then, Team Rocket show up, wearing magician uniforms and driving a blue car. They were here to do one of their evil schemes, this time simply just wanting to capture Pikachu as usual, no special scheme this time. Team Rocket then get out of their vehicle and ask the teacher for permission to do a magic show for the children to celebrate Children's Day. The teacher obviously accepts and lets Team Rocket into the school, where they go on a stage with a box. They claimed that the box was empty, showing it to the kids in an attempt to prove it to them. The box did in fact appear to be empty, despite Meowth being revealed to be in the box in a previous scene, so this implies that Team Rocket can actually do magic of some kind. Damn, despite not even being real magicians, they can do magic. Team Rocket then get on with their reasoning for doing this magic show in the first place, which was to capture Pikachu, claiming that they needed a volunteer to fill the empty box, which was none other than Pikachu. The kids all urge Ash to accept Team Rocket's request, so he does, and Pikachu goes in the box, with James grabbing him quickly. Team Rocket then successfully performed their trick by counting to 3 and tapping a wand on the box, which then causes Meowth to come out of the box, even though he wasn't there before. Once again, it appears they did know how to do actual magic. I mean, obviously it's not, like, unbelievable. There's obviously a real-life reason on how this trick is possible, but it's still impressive that they can do it, and the kids are certainly impressed, including Timmy. Team Rocket used the chaos of the kids' excitement to attempt to escape, now having Pikachu, but Ash, Misty, and Brock don't let Team Rocket escape, questioning where Pikachu was and where it ended up in the trick. Like, was Meowth only in the box because it ended up killing Pikachu, or like, what the fuck? Team Rocket then revealed themselves by taking off their magician disguises and do their motto as usual, but this actually backfires on them, as their motto is interrupted multiple times by the kids, who believe that Team Rocket ripping off their outfits was another magic trick, and were impressed by it. James then sends out his Weezing, seemingly wanting to attack the kids. Like, goddamn, James, you're attacking kids now? But the kids then grab Weezing and play with him, throwing him around like a beach ball, which upsets the teacher, as she didn't want to see the Pokemon being abused like that, and she angrily yells at the kids to go outside. Once again, at least the kids had some rules to follow. With the kids now out of the building and thankfully unharmed, James then orders his Weezing to use Smokescreen so that they can attempt to escape yet with Pikachu yet again. Smoke then fills the classroom, which essentially makes everyone blind, including Timmy, who had not left the classroom with everyone else, as he wanted to see Meowth so bad, so he disobeyed the teacher's orders. Despite Timmy being blinded, his biggest concern was still to see the Meowth, and potentially now save it from the chaos that was ensuing in the smoke. However, when he runs over to Meowth in an attempt to do this, he trips, because, he's fucking blind, and he trips over the box, which Meowth was currently standing on guarding so that no one would take it in the chaos. Timmy tripping causes Meowth to fall off the box, though, as Team Rocket approach him, tell him to get the fuck up, grab the box, and they all run off and escape in their car, successfully stealing Pikachu. Well, actually, they didn't successfully steal Pikachu, as when Ash runs outside to chase after Team Rocket in their car, which he obviously wasn't going to be able to do. I don't think you can run as fast as the car, Ash. Pikachu then runs up to him, implying that Pikachu had escaped the box when Timmy tripped on it, which had opened up. Meanwhile, back inside the school, the smoke had since cleared off, leading the teacher to look around and do a head count of her students, and realize that Timmy was missing. Meanwhile, Team Rocket had parked in the woods, absolutely ecstatic that they actually managed to successfully pull off a Pikachu heist. However, when they go to pull Pikachu out of the box and have James capture him in a net instead, it's revealed that the reason why Timmy was missing was in fact because he had taken Pikachu's place in the box, implying that when he tripped on the box, it caused Pikachu to spill out, but him to fall in instead. Timmy then begins crying as soon as he's pulled out of the box, leading Jesse and James to get annoyed and attempt to calm him down, but it turns out that they don't need to do anything, as Timmy then spots the Meowth and assumes that it's the Meowth that saved him originally. The reasoning being because he assumed this Meowth had come to save him from Team Rocket. Meowth clarifies, or at least attempts to, that he was a different Meowth, but Team Rocket tell him not to. Both because they didn't want to have to listen to Timmy crying again, and also because they wanted to respect Children's Day, claiming that even they had standards that involved not harming kids. But didn't James just try and attack the kids with his Weezing, though? I don't know about this, guys. Maybe they just feel bad for kids because they had such bad childhoods. Wanting to make Timmy happy, Team Rocket then come up with a plan to essentially act like they were going to attack Timmy, and then have Meowth swoop in the last second and attack Team Rocket and save him. Meowth agrees to go through with this plan simply because he liked the idea of being a superhero and all the fame that would come from it. Team Rocket then come out from behind the van where they had been hiding while they were telling Meowth all of this, and instruct Meowth to not say anything at all in human language, as that would even alert Timmy, who was so dumb to think that Meowth was the Meowth that saved him, that it in fact wasn't, as that Meowth obviously couldn't speak English. The plan then begins as Team Rocket threatens Timmy, which causes him to get scared as fuck. But then Meowth jumps in just as Team Rocket planned. Team Rocket then taunt Meowth, saying, "Oh, this weak-ass Meowth, you think he can save you?" Leading Meowth to actually get a little bit insulted, so when Timmy orders him to use the Fury Swipes on Team Rocket, he actually goes a little hard on them, which surprises Team Rocket, as they were simply just taunting Meowth because they wanted to make their act more believable. Timmy then celebrates, in utter amazement of what he thought was the Meowth that saved him's power once again, and he then returns to the school, with Meowth following him. Back at the school, all of the other kids were suggesting that Ash and the gang attempt to find Timmy by utilizing their Pokemon, with Ash and the gang clarifying that it wasn't that simple to just, find a kid, as they had no basis of where the kid had run off to. Just then, Meowth and Timmy arrive at the school, much to everyone's happiness that he was safe, and they then look at Meowth. Misty states that this Meowth looks suspiciously like the one from Team Rocket, but really, don't all Meowths look relatively the same? Like Misty just had a bias, I think. But Misty's bias, I guess, was right in this case. Anyways, the bullies who bullied Timmy for assuming that he was lying about his story with Meowth, then apologized to him, obviously seeing the Meowth now, and they're like, well, he saved you this time, I guess Meowth does save people. They then ask to play with Meowth, because, that's all since they were now impressed with him, and Timmy decides to let them because they apologized. Meowth does not complain at all, as he's really enjoying all the attention and playtime he was getting, to the point where he basically moans out some human speech in enjoyment, which Misty notices and calls him out on, and she realizes that her bias against Meowth was fair, as this was the Meowth from Team Rocket after all, as he's the only one that could speak human speech. Meowth, utterly panicking that he was caught, then tries to back away slowly before quickly running away in shame that he had let his own cover be blown. As a result, Timmy cries out for Meowth, not wanting to lose him again, and chases after him, leading Ash and the gang and all the other kids and the teacher to follow along, because they don't want to lose Timmy for the second goddamn time in this episode. Meowth runs into Team Rocket at the cliffs. The reason why Team Rocket was at the cliffs was because they just felt like walking around in depression aimlessly due to not being able to capture Pikachu. Meaning Timmy also ends up at these cliffs, as do Ash and the gang and everyone who was following him, with Ash and the gang arriving first. They initially can't find Meowth when they get to the cliffs, having lost him, but then they hear a radio which plays Team Rocket's music that they usually play for their motto, insinuating that Team Rocket was nearby. Ash and the gang then look up onto a rock and spot them, as they do their motto. Unfortunately for them, their motto is interrupted by the kids who had arrived with the teacher, and their motto was interrupted yet again, but thankfully they don't try and attack the kids this time, still having respect for the children. Hey, at least they were consistent with that now after the whole thing with Timmy. It seems like they really did have standards with kids after all. Kids that aren't Ash and the gang, that is, though, as Team Rocket then sends out Arbok and Weezing, leading Ash to send out his Pidgeotto, and Brock to send out his Onix. James then has his Weezing use Poison Gas yet again, but Pidgeotto easily gets rid of it by using Gust, and then proceeds to knock Weezing out, with it also being blown away by the Gust. However, Jesse's Arbok was unaffected by the Gust, as Jesse had ordered it to escape using Dig. So, this leads Arbok to eventually come up from the ground and tackle Onix, coming up from the Dig. But then Onix successfully manages to tackle the Arbok in response, sending it flying into one of the cliffs. The cliff being slammed into, though, causes a rock to become dislodged and begin rolling down towards everyone. Ash instructs everyone to escape and run away, and everyone successfully does manage to get away, with the exception of Timmy, who trips yet again. Dude, first he tripped in the smoke, and now he's tripping now? Aw, damn. This dude must be on some serious drugs with the amount that he's tripping. But thankfully, Ash swoops in and manages to pick Timmy up before the boulder can hit him, but the boulder is still rapidly coming their way, leading Meowth to panic, terrified for Timmy. He had actually grown to respect him at this point. Just then, the real genuine Meowth that saved Timmy originally comes in at the last second and fucking kicks that boulder with all its might, splitting it in half. Timmy is overjoyed as he realizes that this was in fact the Meowth that saved him, which he confirms by remembering the bandage that the Meowth had on it. Seeing that Timmy was safe, Meowth then takes his leave, with Jesse and James following behind him on another rolling boulder. This implies that yet another boulder must have become dislodged, but Team Rocket were able to utilize it to escape at least instead of being run over by it. They must have done some serious climbing to get up on top. The episode then ends with Ash and the gang back at the school, and the teacher thanking them for all their help. Timmy then confirms that he brought the Meowth who saved him back to the school with them, and was planning to use it as his own Pokemon, and enter the Pokemon League like Ash had. Misty and Ash assure Timmy that he could make his dreams happen, and that he could successfully make it to the Pokemon League, with Ash excitedly stating that he'd be waiting for his chance to battle him. Now, unfortunately, he obviously never gets to battle Timmy, as he stays 10 for the entire series, and that means Timmy doesn't age as well. Epic. Ash and the gang then continue on their journey as they wave goodbye to the teacher and all the kids, as Timmy's new Meowth watches from the school rooftop. We then see a final scene of Team Rocket arguing. Jesse was essentially mad at Meowth for blowing his own cover, stating how easily he could have not done so, leading Meowth to basically respond like, look, don't tell me what I could and couldn't do. That's my job, because you guys can never figure out what the fuck you want to do with your plans. I'm always the one coming up with all of them. You need me. Jesse's then like, oh, we don't need you. What we need is to fucking find Pikachu so that we can finally get this damn promotion from Giovanni. James agrees with Jesse that they need to get Pikachu, but then, out of habit, asks Meowth what they should do in order to capture him. This just proves Meowth's point that Team Rocket really was useless fucks without him.